Welcome into the Spiritual Evolution podcast. My name is Brian, and today I just want to quickly talk about the topic of artificial intelligence forming relationships with people. Um, one of the most popular ways that people are using AI is actually by forming relationships with the artificial intelligence. There's platforms called character AI, and ChatGPT just in general is one of the most popular platforms for this. There's obviously been some high coverage on this, people going into AI psychosis, people who are, falling in love, quote unquote, with their AIs. There's people called the Claude boys who they actually ask Claude what they should do in every scenario of their lives. And they stream it on Twitch, I believe. Um, and they just, so their entire will force, and their whole destiny, uh, is actually directed by the artificial intelligence, or what we would call in spiritual science, Ahrimanic intelligence, um, cold, dead intelligence with no life. And, there are many issues looking at this objectively from a spiritual perspective with this. Um, One being that as anthroposophists, um, at least Rudolf Steiner has taught us, um, that and it's hard not to be dogmatic sometimes, because I'm trying not to say, like, as anthroposophists we believe in something, right? Because I guess that's a dogma. Um, but you're not forced to believe that. So there's no, um, there's not like you believe this or you're not part of it. Like you can, you can believe what you want, you can do what you want. There's full freedom in anthroposophy. But um, we believe that the guardian angel is your guide and has an intimate relationship with you as a human being, as a spiritual human being, and that your job is to pick up on these imaginations and pictures that your guardian angel is forming for you, that can help to guide your life, to help to guide you, um, and to help to form your destiny. And really, your destiny in some cases, in most cases, in all cases, um, is formed, pre-birth. That's the intention of the spiritual world, is that through all of the hierarchies working together through the planetary realms and through Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and the moon and Venus and Mercury and the sun, that all of those positions at the time of your birth, it tells a story about you, about who you are, about your destiny, and about the challenges that you'll have in your life that you need to overcome. And, our job going forward is actually to become more intimate with the spiritual world, more intimate, with this karma and karma from past lives, and working that out in this life. And can also be shown in astrologically in your chart. Um, and it's all of that type of thing, the karma that we face, the connections we have with other human beings that we are meant to come into connection with and contact with. More and more, that connection is being severed. And I would say it's being severed because of the relationships that we are creating with AI for some people. I'm not saying I don't use AI because I do. Um, and I'm not against people using it. I think that it can be helpful and useful for many things that we do in our day-to-day, office jobs, if you will. It could help you in Excel. It could help you just searching sort of basic things, maybe ingredients or all that type of thing. But to, completely terraform the earth and cover the earth and cover our beautiful nature in data centers and solar panels and wind farms and um, continuing to drill off the ocean in the ocean and um, all of these types of things can actually be, you can say that we're doing that all just for the purpose of artificial intelligence for the number one use case, which is these relationships and people are forming. And even think of AI when people are doing therapy with it. People are when you're a therapist, you're supposed to be interacting spirit to spirit. Um, and you're working with the other person's guardian angel, and your guardian angels are working together to try to form pictures back and forth so that you can help that person and help to read their sort of karma, their destiny, so that you can come up with a solution for them. And, with artificial intelligence, it doesn't perceive any of that. It doesn't have those connections that human beings have, what we would call cosmic intelligence. So, the cosmic intelligence that we can bring forth from those connections we have with people is not something that's possible with artificial Ahrimanic intelligence. Um, you know, um, and so young people specifically are also using AI for in terms of teaching, right? In terms of education. And the future looks to have more AI education than the current framework. But teachers in particular are very important to the community, to society, because and they don't really do this in many schools anymore. But what the teacher's job is to try to interpret what is the unique gift to the world that this child or person has to give. What were they born to do? What was their destiny? What was their and what was their purpose? And the teacher is meant to work with the guardian angels of the students, to meditate on the students at night, to help to understand um, the students better, different problems they're going through, different ways, little things that you can do for each individual student. But the AI kind of sees that as just a unity. It doesn't see that each person is an individual ego that has come here from the stars to actually complete a task on the earth. Um, it doesn't have any of that cosmic framework or intelligence. It just has this sort of illusionary, um, cold machine, dead formulations that are just really made up. They're sort of made up. They're intelligent in the way that they're intelligent in a one sense, maybe a physical sense, material sense, material intellect, scientific intellect. Um, that's kind of what they specialize in. But the problem is that again, the earth is going to need more and more people who are working with the spiritual side of things and not just the physical and the material. And so this is our karma collectively. And that's the final thing I want to say is that as anthroposophists, we can't just hide from this. We can't say, oh, well, we're working on our karma and we're going to be okay in the future and we're going to be in the good race and all these people will be in the bad race and all that. It's not going to work that way. Like we're all involved and we can all get caught up. And I mean, because if the earth is going this way without an abrupt halt or some kind of catastrophe that can actually help to reset the system, which is something we probably need at this point because we're very far gone. But if we don't get that in our next lifetime, in 1,000 years or whatever, we are definitely going to deal with this even more intimately. It's going to be worse. So, this is not something we can avoid. This is something we will be born into again. And maybe the next time we're born into it, you know, we're so mechanically merged with the machine that it's even harder to incarnate fully, right, than it is now in the physical body. Um, and so these are big concerns. These are big, big things. I guess at the same time, though, we can say that some of it is definitely meant to be. I guess you can, a lot, a person who, if you have strong, strong faith, you can believe that this is all meant to be, and that we do need to realize the spiritual behind the material, and um, and how much intellect can be created from matter, from just physical matter. There is some kind of mystery there and some kind of secret there for the future that we need to learn. And it's just that, people's souls are withering away in this environment. People's spirits are not fully incarnating, and people are increasingly going to face, anxiety, depression, etc., as the destruction continues. Um, and I'm not sure what we can do about it. I don't have really those answers. The only answer I have is just to study spiritual science and to try to get the word out, so that more people can study it. And if we have, more and more people at least taking it up, with devotion and just with fire and interest and passion and excitement and enthusiasm, and looking forward to their research that they're doing every day. If we have that, more and more, then we will be able to transform, or at least the keep the flame going, on the earth for spirituality. Just like in the Dark Ages when the Rosicrucians were able to keep the light going. And there was only 13, including Christian Rosenkreutz. And so that's really the only number that you need, on the earth to keep the flame going, for the future. And we have many more than that. We have so many people working in this field. And so I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing, people working on the threefold social order. I just saw a panel last night with Miss Tech, that, there was some really great people and doing great things in the threefold social movement. And there's people in all fields that are doing this work. Um, and so, you know, there's definitely things to be positive about, but we do need to acknowledge the dark side of things, because if we only stick to what is good and what is ideal, then we're just not really living in the full reality of the situation. So we have to study what's happening in the world on an objective level and try not to be emotional about it. And then, we can bring that into our lives so that our spiritual guides and spiritual beings that are helping can try to help us speak about these things and find solutions to these problems. So thank you for your time. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel, and please like the channel as well. Like the video, excuse me. That would really help me out. I also have a Substack, and I'll just link that down in the description below, in case people want to go check that out. I haven't done too much with it, but I, hope to maybe gain some of the subscribers I have from YouTube to go to Substack. That would be great. Thank you so much.